You never know who's going to win in the NFL. Teams have good days and bad days all the time. But still, once in a while, a team is so consistently bad that you just know things have to change. One such team is the Denver Broncos. Experts put it in the top 5 teams likely to improve this year, but given its performance, that clearly isn't happening. So what went wrong? And more importantly, how to fix it? Watch this video to find out. First up, what went wrong for the Broncos? When the Broncos got Russell Wilson, it felt like all their prayers had been answered. They were waiting for this, and it would only be upward from here. But this season is looking like a bit of a nosedive, if we're honest. They're losing 3-8 at the moment, and Wilson appears to be cursed on the field. What is going on? It's not that Wilson is a bad player by any means. He had a 64.4 quarterback rating with Seattle, which was 8th in the league. In his final season with the Seahawks, he improved that to a QBR of 67.8. He threw 15 touchdown passes too. And all of this he did right after he recovered from a broken finger. The man is a long way from legend, but still, no one could call him bad. Until now. Wilson's EPA per play has been dwindling swiftly down the ranks since 2020. He was considered the 11th best in 2020, then he fell to 27th in 2021. This season is only marginally better, with a 24 ranking. The 34-year-old is clearly struggling to maintain his game with the Broncos. But since he's locked in contract till 2028, they must learn how to use him fast. Otherwise, their savior could end up being the destructor. So, can it be fixed? Stay tuned to find out. Next up, what's the problem? There are a lot of areas that the quarterback is struggling in. He's a good scrambler and throws great deep passes, but that's about it. As the quarterback, he needs to be an all-star, but he's barely surviving right now. The most important zone of the field is where he's making mistakes. He was ranked the number 1 quarterback inside the red zone in a 5-year span. At his best, he had a 91.9 QBR inside the 20, and even at his worst, he was the 13th best in the league in 2018. But since joining the Broncos, he's gone from the best to the worst quarterback inside the red zone. His QBR dropped to just 6.3. Now that's just embarrassing, man. Even outside the 20-yard line, things aren't looking pretty. In 2020, he posted a 60.4 average outside the red zone. That was still the 16th best of the league at the time. Now he's ranked 27th. While this slide isn't that severe, it's bad enough to warrant some panic. On top of that, he's only averaging less than 7 yards per attempt with play fakes. This season is just going downhill at this point. The one thing he had going for him was that he was good under pressure. Even when he was being rushed, he'd break free somehow and fix his mistakes. Not this year though. He ranked 7th and 10th in 2020 and 2021 under pressure. This year though, he's 28th in QBR. He can't escape that easily anymore, and it shows. Man is struggling. Also, he's not the only one to blame. Football is a team sport. Yes, the quarterback is the backbone of the team, but that doesn't mean that everything rests on their shoulders. Star QBs have struggled with mediocre teams as well. Wideout Tim Patrick is MIA after his ACL tear. We mean fair, but still, he was a crucial part of the team nonetheless. Running back Javonte Williams also tore his ACL in Week 4 and has been out. Mike Boone had a high ankle sprain. Running back Chase Edmonds was traded for Chubb, but he's also not playing because of his ankle sprain. We mean, why is the entire team in the hospital? It really does seem like someone cursed them. Other than that, Wilson himself was out due to a hamstring issue. Garrett Bowles, Lloyd Cushenberry, and Billy Turner, all starters, have become injured reserves too. The running back rotations Latavius Murray and Marlon Mack were also not on the roster for some reason. So who's on the field, guys, if all the top folks are at the hospital? This explains the poor season a lot better if you ask us. Russell has weak spots, and the team has a lot of holes in its offense. Those holes can be fixed if the rest of the team cooperates, but right now it seems like most of it is MIA. We mean, Russell is good, but he's not a miracle worker. How can he win football with only half his team? Coming up, can he get better? It does seem possible, even if the season sucks, but just because something is possible doesn't mean it's likely. All we can do is look at the Pro Football References Index statistics to chart out the course of his career and compare it to others. Wilson had a 115 era adjusted passer rating in 2021. This season, he's currently at 89th. Such a huge fallout is rare but not unheard of. Have other players survived this fall? Donovan McNabb, Carson Palmer, Jake Plummer, Brad Johnson, and Matt Schaub are all names that suffered the same fate. Unfortunately, all of them never played at the same level again. Some managed to hold on but never started regularly again. end. Troy Aikman also had a similar fall, and he retired shortly after. Is it time for Russell to call it quits too? Still, there's a long list of players that made a comeback too. Phillip Rivers looked like he was done for with the Chargers in 2019, but he returned stronger than ever with the Colts, having a Pro Bowl caliber season. Brett Favre had extremely frustrating seasons in 2005 and 2008. By all means, it looked like the end, but turned things around and got MVP in 2007 and 2009. Yes, Wilson is in his 30s, but he's only 34. He was a Pro Bowl caliber player last December, for crying out loud. One bad season does not undo his skills. He could make a comeback easily. All hope is not lost. Moving on, stuck with you. Not to be pessimistic, but there isn't much they can do, even if Wilson continues to be bad. We mean they traded 2 first-round picks for him and then gave him a 5-year extension as well. For better or for worse, they are stuck with each other. The professor is owed $104 million through 2024, and there's no way they can get out of giving that money. They'll have to keep him if Russell says he wants to play. They can't even think of giving him the boot before 2025. What they could do is give him $37 million in salary. In 2025, he'll play elsewhere though. It looks like there's no easy way out of this one. The Broncos could trade him next year. Then they would only owe him $40 million in dead money. In that case, they would pay $57 million total for one terrible season. Still, getting rid of him could save more money in the future. Imagine if he is also bad in the next few seasons. The Broncos should just set fire to their money at that point, though Wilson may not be willing to be humiliated in that way. Also, it's unlikely that any team would want him after this season too, unless they are convinced they can make a comeback with him. Again, one bad season is not equivalent to one career, but it's still pretty bad. So if they're probably stuck with him, they might just make the best of the situation. Not to mention, time to break out the tools. I think we can safely say at this point that the Broncos aren't winning this season. This one is already down the drain, but a few things can be implemented now to save the next season, if they want to, of course. First, we think it's time to say goodbye to Nathaniel Hackett. The head coach is clearly not suited for the role. While head coaches have had the worst opening seasons, he just can't see it getting any better. He doesn't understand how to manage Russell or the rest of the team. Their communication is lacking, and everything just turns into a shouting match. For now, we think it's best to part ways. The second thing to do is to keep Ejiro Evero. The defensive coordinator has managed to make the Broncos 4th in defensive capabilities in the league. On top of that, they need to hire a coach with some experience molding teams with unique quarterbacks. This is the only way Russell can truly be utilized. They can try coaxing Sean Payton out of retirement, but that's a long shot. On the other hand, Frank Reich may be a more realistic solution. He can also become an offensive coordinator because he's a free agent at this point. The main thing is all the players need to get healthy and be on the field at the same time. Most of them haven't been on the field together in a long time. Whoever gets hired needs to understand Wilson's special style and create easy opportunities for him on the field. That is the only way they can get better. That's it for today. Do you think Russell is a good investment for the Broncos? Let us know in the comments below. As always, like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with another video soon.